Afternoon. I'm getting my combines ready for the next round of cutting. Looks like, well, definitely barley. Maybe oats by the look of it, because the bloke they thought were going to cut it doesn't want to do it. We think the oats are a little bit. I've done oats before with these, but the oats are a little bit sort of bit long and a bit sort of wiry for just to put the stress on these older machines. You know, it's just a little bit much. We just have to see how it goes. But I'm going to just getting it ready, and one of the jobs is this. I can start it just towards the end of the final 3 rows. The combine just stopped basically. I'll just show you I think that sort of like having new people on them and that, like just learning it, they don't sort of like, takes them a while to sort of get to grips with how stuff works and how the drive lines and that, you know, you got to just be as gentle as you can with them. And I mean, obviously not blaming anybody for anything. We had to put another belt on. Fortunately, my friend had given me a couple of Alice Chalmers belts the other week, so that come in handy. I had to put a new shaker arm on. Yeah, one of them broke. I had to weld up the other. Fortunately, I had one lying about. And this short combine, that performed pretty well, really. I mean, the only thing I did wrong was I left the fuel tap off. I turned the fuel tap off on this because it leaks a bit. So it leaks out here. That's something I need to sort out in the future at some point. Fix that up. But I left that off and started running. Of course, it took me ages to bleed up through. And yeah, so just to show this, that's the clutch. You know, we kept having just little bits and pieces with this combine. I fitted the belt, and I kept on having to tighten it, and the combine was slowing down when we were cutting, and the mechanism was slowing down when we were going along, and I knew that it was the clutch or the belt. We kept on tightening the belt. The belt was loose, and it turned out that it was a clutch. I showed this coming off before, but that's the threshing clutch. The drive comes through here from the engine, and it just, where you're not using the combine, this bit rotates. This lever here, that sort of pushes that in and out. You see, that's how that works. That one's good. You can hear that sort of clicks right in. That's good. I have done that one on that shorter combine before, but that's where the back goes on. And this whole mechanism, this screw and all this bit is all part of how that lever pushes that out, which pushes, that's like a spring clip that it all rests against. This screw here, with them threads, is how you adjust the tightness of it, and it sort of, it grips it, but it's got to grip it just right. And the difference between sort of like the distance of like one of these gaps is enough to do it. And I like I say, I knew the clutch was slipping the other day, and I tightened it up, and it just, the next thing, I thought it would be all right. The fellow went into the crop, and the next thing I looked behind and he was stopping, and I just said, right, that'll do. We'll finish off with the short combine. There's only a bit left. But one thing to do when you've got a bit of a blockage in a combine and something's gone and it's blocked, stop the combine straight away. Turn the mechanism off. Put your foot on the clutch. Otherwise, you're just going to keep on drawing more straw in. If there's anything wrong, you just stop. You know, don't just keep on going just for the sake of it. You know, no matter how much the boss is putting the pressure on, you're just going to end up in a whole world of crap. So yeah, just stop and just find out what's wrong with it. And when you unblock a combine, generally obviously if the drum's blocked, release the pressure, release the concave. There ain't actually much more I can open this one, but what I'm going to do is, before I start this combine up and run it, I'm going to open that bit And also what will help is free it off by hand a bit first. And this is the best pulley to use to free the whole combine off, because that's the one with a lot of the sort of better ratio for gearing. To grab that, you can should be able to turn the whole combine over with that one. But there you go. I'm going to grease them up. I'll put some oil in them, put some diesel in them. I'm going to grease them all up, oil the chains, and that short back one's getting a few knife sections, and well, a whole new knife. I'm going to build up a new knife. I've got these really good, that Pat's combine I had for them, that I bought the axle for that. There's some really good double fingers on it. I've got a whole load of new knife, because the Barley tends to just sort of like stick it, sort of like shoves it along if you're not careful. This is the same knife I had last year in here. It sort of gathers up and shoves it, and there's not much wrong with this knife at all really, but I just want it as good as possible. I'll keep this knife for a spare, and I want this as good as possible. I'm going to put some crop lifters on it in case we have to do these oats, because these oats are keeled over, some of them, and I'm going to try and put some crop lifters on that one as well, but I'll have to get slightly longer bolts. But there you go. I'll leave that one with you, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks when I'm cutting these oats or cutting this Barley.